Sure. Erica Chase, president of CleanCycle Carbon. We are a biogenic CO2 developer in the biogas space. We have one operational plant in North Carolina and a handful of others in our pipeline.
Fantastic. And Erica, you've been on stage here yesterday and today at our North American CO2 Summit 2025. So perhaps you could just give me a brief overview of what you discussed.
Sure, absolutely. First, discussing the opportunity that exists in the biogenic CO2 space. It really seems that the biogas CO2 projects are really the low-hanging fruit. You're starting off with a very high concentration of CO2 already, and then taking that a step further to purify it, liquefy it, and get it to beverage-grade CO2. So really just teeing up that this is the low-hanging fruit, and then talking through about what at CleanCycle Carbon we are doing in the space. So we have the first small-scale operational plant of CO2 behind RNG in the country. We are producing about 6 to 10 tons per day of biogenic beverage-grade liquid CO2. We have been delivering that CO2 since December of last year. It is co-located at a Purdue plant with a Darling Ingredients rendering facility. The project actually won an award last week at the U.S. Poultry Environmental Conference for just the really sustainability and innovative initiatives that were taken by all the team members.
Fantastic. And this project that you're discussing there, how is this going to move forward? What's next for that project?
Yep, so all of the CO2 that is currently being produced goes back to the Purdue plant. The project originated during COVID when CO2 supply was in such dire needs and on the verge of shutting down that plant. So Purdue wanted to really shore up at least some sort of sustainable source that they could rely on long term.
Okay, and why is it that you see this as perhaps the most logical new source or alternative source of CO2?
Biogas space is really the lowest hanging fruit. On top of having the highest concentrations of CO2 to start out with, it is the lowest cost to produce on a dollars per ton basis. All of these sites are existing, so you have 500 existing operating sites of RNG across North America that just need bolt-on technology. And then you have an additional almost 500 that are in planning, design, or commissioning phases that could really make a significant impact to the CO2 market.
Sure, and where do you see the opportunity in this market?
I think it's to fill a gap of need. I think it's small sources that can help fill certain regional areas of North America that are in short supply of CO2. I think what I also want to mention is the not reliance of government incentives. And I think that's really what sets the biogas CO2 apart from a lot of these other technologies, is that these projects can financially stand on their own without government incentives.
Sure, and we've talked about your current project, but what's coming up in the future for CleanCycle Carbon? Are there any new projects around the corner?
Yes, absolutely. So we have 10 in current agreement stage that we are working on to bring throughout both Canada and the U.S., a handful in California, which we know to be a great market, and then we have about 40 in our pipeline and kind of a tier 3 stage that we're currently evaluating.
Okay, great. And finally, if you had a message for those people who maybe couldn't join us here at this event, what would be your message to them?
I think my message is that there's been so much talk about these biogenic CO2 sources over the last handful of years, and something's finally being done, and it's also being done safely. Part of the presentation that I gave showed our ISBT certificate, showed a reference from Airborne Labs, and also talked to all of the safety plans that we've implemented on site. Constant on-site testing, batch testing every trailer load before it leaves our site, and just really understanding that we know the weight of the importance of safety and what that takes.
Fantastic. Well, Erica, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.